Alright, so we're going to start here on Final Fantasy XIV. Some people had asked me some questions, so I'm just going to go through the beginning of the game, explain some stuff, show how the game gets going. Honestly, there's not a whole lot going on with the game as far as content is concerned right now anyway, so I may do a couple streams like this, just showing the beginning of the game and going through it. So we're just going to start with a brand new character. I'm not going to save. We'll pick 17. January 17th is good. And that one. None of these options matter at all. And we will be going with the DPS. We'll go ahead and do Pugilist, which does become a monk. Fairy, we don't really want to do Fairy. We can do Genova. Alright, so for the name, let's cycle through. I don't like Chirper, Shara. You know what, Savile is good. As for a surname, let's do Rinstad. There we go. Savile instead. You know what? This needs two N's in it to match. Yeah, celebrating. Alright, so right now you can't see it. It went into a blocked scene. It's just queuing me up for the, to get into the server. It's currently full, so we gotta wait for 11 people to leave, and then we will get in there. It should not take very long at all. This is being streamed on my PS5, so I'm kind of at the whim of whatever the PS5 streams at. I can't adjust the resolution or any of that stuff, so it just is what it is. So we'll just watch this scene real quick. So I didn't show the character creation process, but you have lots of options in this game. Just went with a bunny boy because I haven't played with one of those before.
Feel.
This is just showing you kind of when the game had first come out. This was like the highest level monk here. This is what it looked like. Hey, you. lad. You were moaning something fierce for a while there. Feeling the effects of the ether, I reckon. You'll get used to it though, don't worry. You there, halt. What's all this about? Inspection. Men search the carriage. Just an honest peddler, friend, so don't be too disappointed if you don't find nothing, huh? Mind your tongue, old man, lest I cut it off. These guards are kind of rude. This dude just pulled something out of his pocket, didn't he? Since when do honest peddlers deal in prohibited herbs? You're in a lot of trouble, old man. You'll rot in a dungeon till the end of your days unless you can afford the fine. I'm beginning to think these guys aren't real soldiers. Business as usual. Bleh. Amalja, Amalja. To arms, to arms. There's not much voice acting in the first part of the game, so I have to provide the voice acting. 7 hells, consider this a warning. Now go, all of you. I guess maybe they are soldiers, they're just corrupt as hell. Run, Chocobo, run! So those are Amalja. You can see they're lizard people, I guess. They look a little weird. That kind of excitement ain't good for the heart. You be careful around them brass blades. Bastards will have the shirt off your back if they fancy it. Like common bandits they are, only less honest. Thank the gods for sending some beastmen to the rescue, eh? So they used to call them all of the not normal or not main NPC races beastmen. They eventually do kind of change that a little bit, but for now. Hey, since we started a long ride, mind keeping me company till we arrive. Damn young and still much care for conversation, see? Just sitting there sleeping. Brent's the name and peddling's betrayed. Judge by your garments, was you're one of them new adventurers. I knew it. Whenever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call it. As long as you can avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring's a risky business these days, especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? What kind of person do we want to be for this run through? We want glory. That's what we want. Glory, eh? Well, if you're willing to take on them tasks as other folks ain't, an adventure such as yourself can win fame what a coin can't buy. Heck yeah. You arrive at how you want to report to the Adventurers Guild. You can find out everything you need to know about the adventure and business in there. What a helpful merchant. Just remember though, there's more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's a fact. That is a fact. By the by, is this your first trip to Ul'dah? So Ul'dah is one of the main 3 city-states at the beginning of the game. You'll have Ul'dah, there's one called Gridania, and one called Lemsa Lominsa. You do eventually open up the whole world so you can go to all of them, but depending on the job that you pick at the beginning, it will determine which city-state you actually start in. Because each city-state has certain jobs associated with it, so we took monk, so we're in Ul'dah. It is, well then, this journey and itinerant tell you its ins and outs of your destination. Uldah's ruled by the Sultana in name, but as most folks know, the Syndicate holds all the real power. Them and their monetarist cronies would happily get rid of her grace altogether, but that won't happen while she still commands the loyalty of the Royalists. And the Royalists are nothing if not loyal. Because it rhymes. These factions have long fought over power, throwing the weight of their wealth against each other, and they show no sign of stopping. Of course, the Lizard Men, that's the Amalja, couldn't care less about the Oldham politics. They have their own interests, and they ain't afraid to use force to serve them. They say war is a gift to peddlers and need to breed with profit. And though it shames me to say it, I'm inclined to agree. Ah, at long last behold Ul'dah, jewel of Thanalan, where folk turn sand into gold.
Deep in the sun-baked south, surrounded by the shifting sands of an endless desert, she rises, a solitary rose amidst the dust and rock, a symbol of defiance. Her name, Ul'dah. Even with the coming of the seventh umbral era, hope springs eternal for the mongers and merchants who vie for lost fortunes in this bustling oasis. As the twin faces of Nold Thal maintain their vigil over all that has been and shall be, the present proffers a brave soul. One whose arrival could mark the beginning of a new era of prosperity for the realm.
Sorry about that. And here's where we part ways, lad. Off to the markets to deliver me wares, and it's on to the high road for me. Here, I want you to have this by way of thanks for putting up with me prattle. You never did tell me your name, though. Hey, but here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider us square.
May the traders nurture our fortunes as they kindle the flames which burn within us all. For by fire are we reborn.
Final Fantasy FFXIV 14. Boy, adventurer, over here. Hey, I mean you, fresh off the carriage by any chance? How can I tell? Name's Wyman, and my business is knowing every bugger else's. Now then, what if I was to offer you some invaluable advice by way of welcome to our fair city? Free of charge even. Just this once, like. Close this door, make sure I don't disturb nobody. Alright, welcome to Old Daw, the shining beacon of prosperity rising from the deserts of Thanalan. Please select the control scheme you wish to use. We are on the PlayStation, so we're just going to go with controller. Alright, these are the basic controls. I'll close that. Follow the instructions, move your character and adjust the position of your camera. When you are ready to proceed, speak to Wyman. No, okay, so before we get going, we are going to change some stuff here. So me personally, I like having this just a little bit bigger, so I need to just grab this corner. Just gonna pull this out a little bit. I think there-ish is good. Alright, so you can set up like a little virtual mouse in this game, so you can do mouse type stuff. Alright, actually, let's grab this. We want to come over here. I think if we just grab it where it says say, or was it over here by general? Yeah, so we got the general, but we can actually push this just a little bit more out of my way. Not too far, I don't want it to look weird. Okay. So first things first is I noticed that I'm gonna take this master volume down to probably about 40. Alright, so no vibration. This will let us auto run, enable Windows in by clicking R3. That's perfectly fine. Button config. Alright, so these look like it's preset for my other, because I had already set it up with my other characters, so it saved it. We want these to execute macro 99 and 98. I'll show you what those are. Enable virtual mouse, this is what I was doing earlier. Display settings, we're just going to leave all that stuff alone. This should all basically be set up and ready to go. Alright, so close that. Next thing we need to do is I'm going to set up my hub. It's going to take me just a moment. Alright, so the cross hotbar, that is this element down here where you can see it moving there. That's where all of your skills are going to go. So I don't need it this big, so I'm just going to shrink it down. 80's good. And saves that. Progress bar is pretty good where it is. Target bar is going to be a whole thing, so we'll get that in a minute. Alright, so hotbars, we don't care about hotbars because we're using controller. Pet hotbar, cross hotbars are kind of important. We'll move that down here in a minute. Alright, party list. We're not healing, so the party list is actually fine over here. I'm going to go ahead and shrink it though. Don't need it at 100%. We can probably drop this down to 80. You know what, we'll go to 60. No, if I'm doing DPS, I don't need to see this as much, so it's not as important. I'll just go right there. Alliance list. We'll go ahead and move the alliance list over here as well. The alliance list is for when you're doing 24-man content. This will let you kind of keep track of everybody in the other 8-man group. 80%, cool. And alliance list 2. So if I had a mouse, this would be a lot easier, a lot quicker at least. But, you know, not gonna fret, just is what it is. Actually, tell you what, we're gonna move this whole thing, move all of these down. Alright. Enmity list. Okay, so the enmity list is like the list of enemies that you have targeted. So we're going to put this down here, kind of by our cross hotbar, so we can see it. I'll go ahead and leave it at whatever it's at right now. Alright, experience bar. We are going to shrink this as small as we can, 60%. And we are going to, no, you know what, 80% is good. Save that. We're going to push this all the way down to the bottom. Parameter bar. This is our 8 MP and HP. We're going to move that up. Where's my cross hotbar? Cross hotbar. We're going to bring this down. And the stuff I'm adjusting now, because if you go ahead and get it all adjusted now, then it'll just save you time in the future. I'm not going to get it perfect, but I'm going to get it usable for me. Okay, the next thing, status info, enhancements. Okay, so these are all of our buffs. So we're just going to bring the buffs down here. They're going to be on the left side. Enfeeblements, these are all of our debuffs. We're going to put these kind of on the right hand side, so stuff over HP bar-ish. These are buffs, and on over our MP bar will be our debuffs. This will be fine for now. We're just going to push this up to the top. These are just kind of other buffs, so I can go through some of the buffs, but if there's any like server-wide buffs or if there's free company buffs, they'll show up there. Alright, server info. Just gonna put this up right here is a good spot for it. Minimap. Drop this to 80%. Save. Alright. Alright, guild. I'm gonna bring this down. I like keeping track of my guild. It's not necessary, but I like it. Inventory grid. It's gonna go down here, so I can see how full my inventory is. Item help right there is fine. Action help is fine there. Limit gauge. We're gonna go ahead and drop this right above our party list. We're gonna need this about 80%. Actually, you know what? We can drop this all the way to 60. This will not play a huge part until much later. So it's just a bar. It doesn't. I don't need to like constantly keep track of it. So it's gonna be small and just kind of up there. It's not hurting anything. Duty gauge. This is pretty important. So we're going to put this. You know, let's go over here, kind of off to the right of our party, just so we keep track of it. Again, this is not something that's going to come into play till much later. Duty action right there is perfectly fine. The chakra gauge is something that we'll see relatively quickly. We're going to move that to 80%. Save that. We're going to bring this down by our cross hotbar. Right there is good. And the beast chakra gauge, also drop this down to 80%, I think. And we'll put that down here as well. You can, if you play this, you can put the stuff wherever you want. But I try and keep stuff kind of close to my cross hotbar so my eyes are not having to go everywhere. I can just, all my information's at one spot and I can check it very quickly. Which is the point of that. Okay, so the other thing is this target bar. So this has all the information for your enemies. So what I want to do actually is take that, I want it about here. And we're going to go into the settings for this, and so we have display target info independently. So what this will do is this will break up the bar. I can actually show you. So if I target Wymond here, and I'll try and find a darker background so you can see. So you can see his health bar there. Alright, so that's our target bar. And what I want to do is I want to split this up. Element size 80. Target the progress bar. So their progress bar, this is like when they're doing an attack and they're charging it up. This is how long it will, like, how long before the attack goes off. So that's kind of an important thing to track. So that to 80, and target info status. This is all of the buffs and debuffs that the enemy has. Alright, so first things first, HP. Like I said, right about here. So you can see where my character is on screen, and I want my target info to be somewhere nearby so I can see what they're doing and I can make adjustments as I need to. Alright, progress bar. So this is going to go... where do I want this? I think I want this above. Yeah, it looks like I actually want this to be 100%. Save that. Actually, you know what? I want this right below. Oops. And this will probably be the last thing I adjust. I think everything else is fine. And status, so these are all the buffs and debuffs. I'll put this right above. Leave that there. This will let me track all of that stuff. The last thing I need is the duty list. Alright, duty list, and we want to just move this up and out of the way. This can get kind of big. So this is just basically tracks all of your missions and stuff. Let's push this down to 80%. If it ends up being too small, I can always adjust that later. Right there. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, save. Alright. Okay, I need to get rid of that too. Alright, so we're going to get rid of these help menus because I don't really need them. So this is what the quest looks like when you talk to them. Every time a quest comes up, you'll get a screen like this. You can decline the quest or accept the quest. Totally your choice. You can come here and see what you get as a reward for doing the quest. In this case, I get some experience and I get some gil. Right? Alright, so we're going to accept this. Displain to anyone with eyes that you don't know your way around here. If I let you go wandering down the nearest dark alley, you're certain to get mugged or worse, and I don't want that on my conscience. So before you do anything else, you want to head over to the quicksand and speak to Mamodi. She's the master of the Adventurers Guild and can set you on the right path. Alright. Just take those steps over yonder, pass through the double doors, you'll find her inside. And that's as much as you're getting for free. Good luck with the adventurer. Alright, so that is the other thing. Just fair warning. You have begun a quest, use the duty list to complete your task. So there you can see it in the top right. Coming to Ul'dah, speak with Mamodi. Right? So in the beginning, you are an adventurer. You are not yet the hero of the story. So the first bit is actually kind of uneventful. You're just running around. You're basically everybody's errand boy. There's going to be some things that happen, but generally speaking, you are not saving the world at this point. You actually start out as a nobody till you get to know everyone, and then you become the hero. You don't just start out as the hero like a lot of games have you do. So at the beginning, a lot of the stuff seems pointless, but this game does reward the slow burn at the beginning. So way later, some of the stuff that you do now will come back up and will actually have an impact on the story. We do need to do one thing. Go to character configuration. Display. No. Is it? Okay, actually there's these things we need to set up. I can probably get away. Nah, let's just set these up now. I know there's a lot of setup, but it makes everything else so much better in the future. Cross hotbar. Shared. We are going to share hotbar 8. So what this means is hotbar 8, no matter which job we pick, hotbar 8 will be the same. So we're going to put all of our stuff, like our sprints, our teleports, stuff that every single job would need to use, will go on that hotbar. Alright, so come over here to cross, and then we'll cross hotbar. Always display cross hotbars. Hotbar help. Yeah, we can use the pet hotbar. I think these are fine. Hold is what we want. Cross hotbar display type. So what this means is when I'm holding, you can see on the bottom if I hold R2 or L2, I have my face buttons and my directional buttons. So this is just how do you want to do that. I prefer to do each side, left and right, has directions and face buttons. But as you can see here, you can do different stuff. I'm not a huge fan of this setup because it shows you your your directions. We're just gonna go with this setup, the one that I know. Alright, return to cross hotbar after WX hotbar. Yes. Custom. Okay, so enable expanded with L2 plus R2. So what this does is if you hold R2 and then L2, you can, it's not there yet, but it will give you an extra hotbar. So this is kind of how Final Fantasy gives you a whole bunch of buttons if you don't have a mouse and keyboard. So you can get quite a few buttons in here. So this double tap is what's going to get us to our shared crossbar, hotbar 8, and we're going to use hotbar 3 as our expanded cross hotbar. We don't want to do that. We're not going to worry about PvP. UI settings. I don't think this is what I'm looking for. Okay, so display active help windows, we're turning that off because we don't want to see that every time something new happens. No more recommendations. We're not going to do the play guide. The portraits are fine. Item settings. We want this to be expanded. Retainer is also going to be expanded. Basically, when you open up your inventory, expanded will show you 2 of your screens. You can see in the bottom right, there's 4 pages. Expanded shows 2 of them. If you go to full, you'll see all 4 of them when you open up your inventory. All of these are fine. I think all of these are fine. Okay, so on character, battle effects, this is super important. This is a very pretty game. This game has a ton of effects. You will not be able to see what's going on, so show all yours because you want your pretty effects. Show limited will make sure that anything that gets put down, like a damage reduction bubble, or if you need to keep an enemy in a certain area for some damage over time, you'll see that, but you're not going to see all of the crazy effects, which allows you to be able to see the enemies. For others, show none. You can turn this on, but I don't care what other people in the world are doing. And we're going to randomize our idle animation, so if we sit still long enough, you know, our character will just cycle through some animations. And I think general, so we're going to skip all these playbacks once we see the cinematic once. We don't want to see it again. Target, auto target corner priority, closest range. You know what? I think we want sight. We'll leave it ignore depth for now. If that becomes a problem, we'll fix it. This just lets us auto target, so we hit our attack button, we'll automatically target onto an enemy. We don't actually have to target the enemy first, which is a lifesaver. Automatic lock on target when initiating auto attack. Okay. Limit ring, press action twice. So this will make sure if you have to put something on the ground, you can't put it or move your cursor outside of the range. And then press the action button twice means I can just hit the same action again to execute it. So okay, I think we're good enough to actually start playing the game though. Alright, so you'll notice there's no people right now. This is because this is like an instance version of the town, so once we get through this, you will see everybody else. There's a ton of people. Actually, there's one more other thing. Last one, I promise. Okay, so we want to see our own name tag, nameplate. We do not want to see other people's nameplates. Only when targeted. Friends, we can see. Alliance members, when targeted. Party members, we can see. That's fine. And actually, we'll just do initials for them for now. NPCs, these are fine, that's fine. Okay. Alright, now we can actually get started on the game. So, let's talk to Momodi. And again, there's no voice acting in the first, like, base game. There's very, very little. Why, hello there. Who might you be? If you're looking to join an Adventurers Guild, you've come to the right place. Name's Momodi, and I own this fine establishment, if it please you. I also manage the Adventurers Guild here in Ul'dah, so you might say that looking after green adventurers like yourself is my vocation. And lucky for you, that is. Without someone like me to steer you right, you'd soon find yourself in the middle of nowhere, caught up in business you don't understand. Like our conflict with the Amalja, for example. They've been plaguing the Sultanate for nigh on, forever now. And then there's the Garlean Empire. None can say for sure what they're plotting these days, only that they are. Aye, the people drink and make merry, but underneath it all there's worry and a lingering feeling of loss. And little wonder it's scarce been 5 years since the lesser moon cracked open like a giant egg, releasing an abomination intent on turning the realm into an eighth hell. So much was lost in the blink of an eye. 'Twas like the end of the world had come at last. But things begin to get foggy. Everyone's got their own version of what happened next. Some of them 2 or 3. You'd think people would remember something like that, but the fact is they don't. Nobody does. There is one thing the survivors agree on, though. The part played by a band of adventurers who laid down their lives for a realm that wasn't their own. They fought valiantly, and like so many others, they never returned. Deeds worth remembering, I'm sure you'll agree. It's just a shame our recollection of those brave heroes are as jumbled as those of the calamity itself. Whenever we try to call their faces to mind, they're like standing between us and the midday sun, permanently silhouetted. I'll bet that sounds poetic to you, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It's bloody infuriating. And even if we can't remember them, we'll not let them be forgotten. We'll call them the Warriors of Light. And they'll forever stand as a shining example of what adventurers can achieve. That's why I welcome new arrivals like yourself to our fair city. All I ask is that you lend a helping hand and try to leave Ul'dah in a better state than you found her. If you can promise that, I'd be happy to join the guild. Alright then, a promise is a promise now. I'm counting on you to help put the past behind us. We need working and spending and bickering like the old days. And a happy and prosperous Ul'dah means business for the quicksand too. Any road, let's make this official. Go ahead and write your name in the register neat as you can. Savile Renstad. Like that, a charming name just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Alright, Mr. Renstad, on behalf of the Adventurers Guild, I officially... Please, sir, be merciful. 12 as my witness. I swear to you, I'll bring you your money. In the East, it is said even a merciful god might be driven to vengeance if thrice blasphemed. Be grateful you were given a 4th chance to offend. You two, attend to this scum. No, please, mercy. Well, ain't that a sorry sight, nor an uncommon one, if I'm honest. Don't worry, though, if you work hard, I doubt you'll end up like him. Just the same, if you ever need a bit of advice about one thing or another, pay me a visit. Don't go bothering me every time you stub your bloody toe, alright? Of course, I do enjoy hearing tell gentlemen's woes and the wonder folk from time to time. Oh, women folk, my bad. Any road, welcome to Ul'dah, Savile. Take a moment to catch your breath, and I'll teach you a little bit of our fair city. Alright, and then we get our experience. We need 300, we just got 400, we should get to level 2. Alright, so there's different quest markers. So you saw the first one, and then there's this one. So the one that looks like a flaming meteor, this is your main story quest marker, so you always want to be on the lookout for these. If you look up in the top left, there's actually the main scenario quest guide, so you will always be able to find where you need to go. You click this, and it will pull up your map and show you where you need to go. Right. So I did mention the shared hotbar, so we can actually just set that up real quick. If we come here to actions, general, sprint, move for a square, I'm going to go to 8. I like sprint to be here. Alright, and that should be good for now. Right now we only have one attack called Bootshine. And again, we did take the Pugilist, which will become the Monk. Alright, let's take our first quest. If we go charging off to find fortune, a few basic tasks that let you perform to help you get to know the place. First of all, I want you to visit the Aetherite Plaza. To get there, head west, you'll reach Emerald Avenue. Just look to the north, you should see a giant floating crystal called an Aetherite. If it weren't for Aetherites, traveling in Eorzea would be damn right more troublesome than it is. Eorzea is the name of this country that we're in. Of course, you still need to attune to them before you can use them, so be sure to do that with the one in the plaza. You've attuned to an Aetherite before, Savile? If not, just lay your hand on the thing, you'll see what I mean. When you've done that, pay a visit to the Pugilist Guild over at the Platinum Mirage. Assuming those weapons of yours ain't just for show, you might consider training there. And finally, visit the Sapphire Avenue Exchange over in the Steppes of Thal. Goods from all across Eorzea and beyond turn up there every day. You'll have no trouble finding armor, weapons, or anything else a fledgling adventurer like yourself might need. You might say that everything's for sale in Ul'dah as long as you've got the gil. Just make sure you don't pay more than you owe to Savile. There's plenty as won't scruple to swindle unsuspecting foreigners like yourself, especially if they think no one's looking out for their best interests. Which is why I'm giving you this letter. When you visit the exchange, find a gentleman named Cesaroga and give it to him. He'll be happy to tell you about the markets once he's read it. In short, then, visit the Aetherite Plaza, the Pugilist Guild, and the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Simple. But before you go, a word of advice. While there's more than a few unsavory characters out there who try to take advantage of you, there are also some that are honest-to-goodness problems. Some with honest-to-goodness problems you should consider offering a helping hand to. A lot of folk are lured to the city by the promise of wealth and power. What many of them fail to realize is that instead of chasing after a guild the moment they get here, they ought to be making friends. One second. Let it be known that you're willing to give as much as you get, and opportunities will come your way. Speaking of which, you should speak to the smith over yonder. Those lads always have some good advice for up-and-coming adventurers. Otherwise, that's about it from me. It's past time you get going. Oh, and let me know when you finish, will you? That way I won't spend my days worrying that you're down to your small clothes without a gil to your name. So in this game, small clothes are underwear, and gil is the currency. It's the money, the gold, whatever you want to refer to it as. Unlike other MMOs, this one doesn't have like the bronze, silver, gold. It's just gil. So, alright, we're not going to talk to the smith. We don't really need to do that. So we are going to set up our macros though. So remember L3 and R3 handle 98 and 99. So over here in our shell, these are macros. Essentially macros are just, you can put in a list of actions and then the game will run all of those actions. You can't really use it for combat just because of the way that the queuing system works for actions in the queue. But you can get some nice stuff out of here. So what we want to do is take sprint here. We're going to copy this, and I believe left trigger sprint. So we just want to paste it here. And now we hit left trigger. Oh, no, it's right trigger. Okay. Let me fix that. User macros. copy, paste. Okay. So now I don't need to hit the sprint action. I can just hit my macro and we'll be good to go. Okay, so you can see that there are NPCs actually in the city. That's an actual playable character, somebody else. So we're just gonna head this way. So right now they are having the Rising event, so that's their anniversary event that they've got going on. We can participate in that once we get to level 15. Alright, so here is our Aetheryte. All the big cities have this one big Aetheryte here. And so this will allow you to teleport to the city. There's also smaller ones. They're called, it's part of what they call the Aether Net, and that lets you teleport around inside of the city. But you always have to teleport from outside the city to the big one, and then you can use the little ones to move around the city. Hail, adventurer, you come to the behest of Miss Mode of the Quicksand. Excellent, which brings us to the matter of attunement fee. That will be 100,000 gil, if you please, sir. Bwahaha, apologies, but I do relish the opportunity to make that jest. The look on your face was absolutely priceless. But the fact that you were so easily deceived suggests to me that you are unfamiliar with the use of Aetherites. Allow me to explain. They tap into ethereal energies and primarily use as a means to travel swiftly from one place to another. Perchance you have heard of the return and teleport. Well, these transportation spells make use of the Aetherites and their connection to the flow of Aether. Given that there's an Aetherite in almost every corner of Eorzea, any adventurer with a mind to explore the realm will wish to seek out and attune himself to each and every one. Even if you have no intention of wandering beyond the Sultanate's borders, it would be prudent for you to attune yourself to any Aetherites you encounter from now on. I pray you found that informative. Should you wish to learn more about Aetherites or transportation magic, I should be happy to answer your questions. Alright, so we learned return and we learned teleports. So teleports. Oh no, we only learned return. We don't know teleport yet. Alright, so return basically, the first Aetherite you pick becomes your quote-unquote home Aetherite. Set your home point. So whenever you hit return, you can use it every 15 minutes. It will teleport you back to your home Aetherite for free. Normal teleport does cost a small fee. The further away you teleport, the more it costs. It's nothing extravagant, so it's nothing to worry too much about. Alright, and now we're going to go to the Pugilist Guild like we're supposed to, which is in here. Alright. So we just look on our minimap up here in the top right, and we can see this. So you can see this little kite or arrow symbol. All that means is, hey, this is continuing your quest. You can see on the duty list that the exclamation marks. So the exclamation marks start the quest. You can see Gelther right here towards the bottom of the screen. That's how you start a quest. The arrow continues the quest, and when you're done with the quest, you'll get a check mark quest marker. And that's how you know the quest is going to be finished. So you already walked the path of Pugilist, so your journey has only just begun. I highly recommend you add your name to a roll, for there's no better place in the realm to train your discipline than here. The origin of pugilism, as we know it, can be traced back to the staging of barehanded bouts at the Colosseum. These contests attracted fighters from far and wide, bringing their myriad styles crashing together on the blood sands. Among her many song-worthy exploits, we pugilists remember her participation in a gladiator tournament most fondly, back when barehanded fighting was still seen as a pastime for peasants. She took on fully armed and armored gladiators and effortlessly bested the lot of them. Word of her feat spread across the realm like wildfire, of course, and Ul'dah swiftly transformed into a center of pugilism, with people flocking from all over to train under this master among masters. This woman's name was Cornelia, and it is to her that the Pugilist Guild owes its existence. The art practice here is based on her all-encompassing style, and this training hall is modeled upon the one which she once built. And there it is, a brief history of our guild. I've told this tale 1,000 times, but gods, it never fails to fan the flames of my fighting spirit. Now then, should you wish to proceed with enrollment, you must first obtain the guildmaster's approval. Let me know if you would like to meet him. Okay. So the other thing are these blue, everyone just refers to them as shields. So the blue ones with the plus, that means if you do this quest, you will unlock something in the game. So they are super important to do. You want to do your main scenario quest, the flames, the meteor. You want to do your blue quests. Blue quests unlock various aspects of the game. And then you also want to do your job quest. So you can see in the top left it says the Way of the Pugilist. So that's the quest I need to do. Just so happens it is this blue shield. You can also tell, generally speaking, important quests will have like a little picture above the reward to kind of show the like a scene or somebody who's important to the quest. Master Hammond's among the greatest pugilists of all time. For years, the man ruled the bloodsands as the Holy Fist. He has since retired to favor training aspiring fighters. When you find him overseeing the charges yonder, go now and show him your fighting spirit. But just to show you as an example, talk to Gelther. You can see there's no picture. This is just a normal side quest. This will get you some experience. It's not bad when you're first starting out to go ahead and grab all of these between level 1 and level 5 quests. They can get you some experience pretty quick if you know kind of where to go. They can take up some time if you're brand new to the game trying to figure out where to go. I'm not super familiar with Ul'dah. I don't spend a whole lot of time here. So I'm going to level up in a different way. I'll decline that. Past time you got your R's back here. What did the dancer have to say about my proposition? Ooh, dirty old man. You're not my errand boy. There's no dancer. There never was. I'm not doing anything indecent. I swear to the god. He is. We know he is. Oh, you're here to enroll? Well, why didn't you say so sooner? In my capacity as guildmaster, I'd be glad to give you a primer on the art of hand-to-hand combat. Doubtless you already know this, but we pugilists fight with our fists and feet. While these don't deal as much damage as a blade, it hardly matters when you can land several blows for each swing of the sword. What we lack in destructive force, we make up for in speed and cunning. Yeah, so the monk is one of the fastest attacking... Actually, I think it might be the fastest attacking job in the game. Under my guidance, not only will you master striking techniques, you'll also learn to string them together to deliver endless flurry of blows. Only through such fierce combination can pugilist realize his potential. Yarg! Crikey, I'm spent from all this talking. You gotta speak more so give me a chance to catch my breath. Where was I? Oh, right. Joining the guild. Before you do so, I must warn you that the path of the pugilist is long and arduous. Do you believe you've got what it takes to go the distance? Be honest with yourself now. Yes. Yes, you have the fighting spirit. I can see it in your eyes. I see no reason to deny you a place in these halls. Welcome to the guild, son. For your first lesson, I want you to test your fledgling skills against the vermin of Thanalan. Get out there and put down 3 marmots, 3 hornets, and 3 shrews. Return here when the deed is done. Okay, so we are going to cheat this a little bit. Because we do want to level up as quickly as possible to just kind of get on with the game. So we're going to come over here, and I believe this is where our... Okay, so you can see on our mini-map the mailbox. You can see on the top right I have 20 pieces of mail. These are things that I have gotten from my account. what he says is not important. I'm just gonna skip this. He's just like saying, hey, I can give you mail. Alright. So we're gonna take all of these things. This is gonna take a minute. So this set, this is if you play Final Fantasy IX, this is the Taintless set, this is basically Zidane's outfit. All these other ones, they just had gold chocobo feathers, which you can use to buy special stuff. This is from Final Fantasy II. I don't remember his name because I did not play Final Fantasy II, but there's his clothes. The Friendship Circlet, this is one thing we're going to get. If we're below 20, for 25 or below, we get 20% bonus experience, which is what we want. We also have an Aetheryte ticket, 99, so 99 times we can teleport for free, which is great. Alright, and we have some mount whistles. The Strife stuff, so this is Cloud stuff. Get a Moogle. Fat Chocobo Whistle. We have not unlocked mounts yet, so we can't use that, but it'll be there. So these are minions and mounts that we're picking up right now. Minions are just little creatures that hang out with you. They don't do anything, they're just there. The Fantasia will let you completely change your character. So we want to go ahead and delete these letters. Okay, so we put in a request, so it will start going and checking to see if we have any more mail that we should have got, because you do have a limit of 20 at a time. So it looks like we got 6 more. Awesome. Alright, so these are from pre-ordering Dawn Trail. As are these. Actually, I think Zidane's from pre-ordering, the other one's for getting the collector's edition. Gold Chocobo Feathers will let us buy some cool mounts. Alright. Cool. So if you open this up, come to character, this is what the character equip screen looks like. So we have you have your weapon up here. This is how you choose your job. As long as you have the job unlocked and then you have the weapon for the job, you can become that job. I don't need to make a brand new character to switch, like from a pugilist. If I want to become a healer, I could just get the healer weapon and switch over to the healer and level that up. Pretty straightforward. We're gonna hit this button here, recommended gear. This is just gonna go find the best stats gear that we have. And we're gonna equip that. So this Azima's earring, what this does is it will scale with us up until level 90. So it's just the best gear or the best earring you can have for whatever level you're at until level 90. After that, you have to swap to a different earring, but alright, so this gives us 20% extra experience when we are at or below level 10, which is cool. But if we just grab the friendship bracelet, friendship circlet, this is until level 25, so it's a little bit better. Alright, the rest of the gear is cool. Inventory, just sort this, get organized. This gives the fist bump emote. Actually, I'm just not going to worry about this stuff right now. We need to go kill some stuff. Let's go see some combat real quick before we shut this down. Right, we're a little over an hour now. I'm gonna try and keep these short. Wyman. So I was checking with him. I am looking for kind of any quest that's like, hey, go kill these things, because we can just do that at the same time. Just placed an order with me for several leather gloves and harnesses used for sparring, but the traders are cruel. I find myself lacking hides. Would you mind getting the pelts of a few snapping shrews? What say you, friend? Care to help this merchant out down on his luck? Bring me fine snapping shrew pelts, and I promise to make it worth your while. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. So, tougher than leather. If we come over here, we can see we get 84 experience. It's not bad. 127 gil and some lightning shards. Lightning shards don't do us any good right now, but yeah. So we the pugilist. So if you click on the name of the quest, it'll bring up this right here where you can see the quest. If you click on the description of like the task that you need to complete, it will actually show you where you need to go to get that task done. So we need to go here. Okay, the shrews are in the same spot. So this is us. We can actually, there we go. Alright. Alright, so here is where we came in, right? And so that's where we came in with our little chocobo carriage. Here's that Aethernet shard I was telling you about. So if I just attune to this. Alright. So we have access to the Aethernet now. If you talk to it, you can see any Aethernet shard in Ul'dah that I've unlocked. I can teleport to it. I haven't unlocked these yet, so I can't teleport to it. I would highly recommend you grab all of these. I may actually just go grab all of these like off stream. There's no point in you watching me just run and get there, but you can see they're all over the place to make it real easy to get around a city. Ul'dah is known for being extremely large and confusing, so it is very important in here to get those. Alright. So you can see that these marmots have the little logo over it. So these are the things we need to kill. So we're just gonna punch these guys. We've only got one attack, so that's all it is. with that guy because we're not high enough to fight him yet. You can see below on the experience the chain bonus. So if you kill the same enemy over and over again, you start getting a little bit more experience from them. Well, cool, we got our first new skill. So you can see the little flashing light around it. And that just means that it is the next hit in the combo. And we're just gonna go kill some stuff for a minute. Yeah, 90 experience, so pretty decent experience doing this. I think I just want to get it to level 5 real quick so that we can get our next job quest immediately after. And there's Artemis coming to help us out. Sort by name. There we go. Alright. And we use return. Artemis, since you're watching, I'm fixing to swap over to my actual account and then grind a little bit more on my Aether pool if you want to do that. Alright, turn this in. Alright, and next time I do this, I guess maybe tomorrow night, we'll pick up turning this in to this dude. Alright, I'm gonna go hop on my next account, or my real account.